Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's
the Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, Mason Kern, joining you every Sunday, and as always, I have some great stuff on my channel today. We'll be getting into a lot of different sports hot topics going on from the past week, some upcoming stuff that is on the horizon that you guys are going to want to be sure to tune into and keep on your radar. And as always, I'll have my always interesting happenings on the Hardwood segment, and little surprises here and there, so stay tuned because this show is going to be a great one. Alright guys, in sports hot topics this week, I'm going to start off with the NFL, and more specifically on the kind of drama surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers and kind of disgruntled wide receiver Antonio Brown, who obviously on the trade block requested a trade toward the end of this past NFL season. And a lot has gone down just in terms of him coming out publicly and kind of making a mess of what the Steelers can actually get in return for the Pro Bowl wide receiver. Obviously the talent and everything's still there, but I mean him coming out and acting in the manner that he kind of has been kind of detrimental to what the Steelers are hoping to get back in return for that type of player of his caliber. And for a moment this past week, actually, it looked like a trade might happen between the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills, but ends up falling through. Antonio Brown kind of crashes that whole trade. Doesn't want to be in Buffalo. The Bills went 3-13 last season. Obviously, a young quarterback in Josh Allen, who's they're gonna probably poised to be the franchise quarterback. Some accuracy issues though. But Antonio Brown doesn't want to be there, so he was that trade he was on the Bills roster for about 2 hours on Thursday, but deal ends up falling through. He will not be on the Bills at least. And it's going to be interesting to see where the Steelers go from here, if they can get him to one of those teams that he wants to be on, but also not a rival playoff contender that's going to hurt the Steelers' chances to win a Super Bowl, and also somewhere that they can actually get a decent return for the Pro Bowler. So definitely really interesting to see where Antonio Brown, the kind of saga of his whole trade request, and where it's going to end up, especially in terms of where he's going to be playing football next season. But also on the trade front, apparently it's been reported by ESPN that Pro Bowl defensive lineman Michael Bennett could possibly be returning and making with a reunion with the New England Patriots. That New England is trading for Michael Bennett from Philadelphia. Michael Bennett, obviously the Pro Bowl defensive lineman, 9 sacks last year, pardon me. And I mean, this guy's a menace on the defensive line, especially, I mean, for a team like the Patriots, reigning Super Bowl champs, perennial powerhouse in this league, to be acquiring another Pro Bowler, definitely stacks them up well for the future, in the short term, in terms of their goals to win another Super Bowl back-to-back, and make another finals appearance, or Super Bowl appearance, I should say. So it's going to be quite interesting to see Michael Bennett's impact once he does reunite with the New England Patriots, and a lot of other deals going around the NFL. So be sure to keep it locked here to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show so you don't miss a beat. You'll be able to kind of see and hear what all is going on throughout the NFL. All right, guys. Now, next in sports hot topics, it's obviously getting into March, and that means it's the perfect time to talk some college basketball because the tournament is on the rise. The bracketology is obviously in full effect. People are trying to see who's going to end up where, who's on the bubble, who's out, who's in. And kind of the main topic, is Zion Williamson going to play? on that note, I think he will, just because I don't think that Zion Williamson is the type of person, nor the type of player to sit out when he has the opportunity to play basketball, because if he even said earlier in the year, if he had the chance to go to the NBA straight out of high school or actually go to college and go through that whole experience, he said he would have taken college anyway. So, I mean, kind of shows what type of player, what type of person he is, especially just considering the impact he's had on that Duke roster. His loss, even with Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett, I mean, the success definitely dipped down a little. Playing without Zion really impacted the chemistry and all that Duke was trying to do. But I think he'll be coming back and he'll be ready for March to make a pretty deep tournament run. I'm sure they'll be considered one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the whole thing. But here locally, just transitioning now to bracketology in Arizona. Two schools, obviously Arizona State, U of A. Last year, U of A gets bounced out by Buffalo. Definitely a big upset. Kind of shocked a lot of people. I mean, obviously, the Wildcats have dipped and not played very well in conference play. So at this point, probably not going to make it to the NCAA tournament. But one team that is still having that possibility, Arizona State. The Sun Devils are kind of on the bubble. Bubble team last year dipped out in the first four, and they lost to Syracuse. So they'll be trying to avoid Dayton. Hopefully, maybe get an at-large bid, but they'll obviously take a bid in the first four if that's what it leads to. I mean, kind of hot right now. Winners of 4 their last 5. Split the Oregon trip against Oregon and Oregon State, but that one loss in their last 5 games was their worst of the season. It was 28-point drubbing to the Oregon Ducks. And, I mean, really, stuff like that can't happen for a team that's pushing to make a NCAA tournament berth. It's really tough for the committee to look at a team like that on the bubble and say, well, they're going to be competitive in the tournament when they lose by 28 on the road. And you have to remember, the Sun Devils have not won or swept a road series since the Pac-10 turned to the Pac-12. It's never been done, not under Bobby Hurley, and not since the Pac-10 turned to the Pac-12. So, at home, the Sun Devils play well. On the road, it's a different story. On a neutral court, it'll be interesting to see how this team does, especially in the Pac-12 tournament, where there'll be a second seed in that Pac-12 tournament in Vegas. So they'll get a first-round bye. Last year, ASU lost to Colorado in the first round, kind of an upset there. So it'll be nice for them at least to not worry about the first round, focus all on the second round as there'll be a second seed getting that first round bye already in the second round of the Pac-12 tournament. So if they gotta really show out in the Pac-12 tournament, I mean it depends obviously on who they play, how they do, and all these other kind of factors. But if they hope to make the NCAA tournament for the second straight year under Bobby Hurley, it's going to be really important for them to get probably at least one win in this Pac-12 tournament, which has not been kind to ASU in the past. They've never even made the championship game. So I think there's a lot of talent on that roster with Lugens Dort, Zylan Cheatham obviously leading the league in rebounds, Remy Martin, who's really gotten more aggressive in this latter half of the conference play. And it seems like a lot of things are falling into place, especially Rob Edwards with his health, and just some of these guys who seem to be clicking at the right time, especially because we're in tournament season. Now, some more news in sports hot topics. We're going to transition over to the pitch and talk a little bit of soccer with you, because Real Madrid in the Champions League out. Reigning champs are out pretty early in the tournament with a 5-3 aggregate score loss to Ajax. Got bounced 4-1 in the second game of that kind of series. And it's been an interesting roller coaster for Real Madrid ever since Cristiano Ronaldo left for Juventus, especially just because the success that this team has realized throughout its kind of inception has really been unparalleled other than FC Barcelona in the Liga BBVA. Because it's really impressive what they've been able to do when Ronaldo was on the roster, though. I mean, obviously the superstar, probably the best, if not second best player other than Lionel Messi in the world. And this guy leaves, goes to Juventus, and now you're wondering, okay, who's going to step up next? There's still some really good pieces in this lineup, from the goalie to the forward position, so you got to kind of string together some chemistry, get some wins going, and getting bounced out of this Champions League tournament to Ajax is just not the result that you as a franchise and you as a team want, especially in upper management when you lose your superstar, and you're trying to kind of not rebuild because they, like I said, still have a lot of really good pieces. But, I mean, Gareth Bale, are you going to step up? Marcelo, are you going to step up? Who here in this defense, Sergio Ramos, where are you guys, and how are you leading to better offense, especially with Gareth Bale on the outside mid, one of their probably star players now at this point? It's just kind of interesting to see how these guys respond to a loss like that and then come out in the Champions League. And, hey, I mean, like I said, it was a 5-3 loss on aggregate, and you lost the second game 4-1, so you had the advantage. I mean, you were winning at one point in time. You won the first game. You just had to come out and close out the second, and you can't get it done. And it's a pretty dominating loss. I mean, 4-1 is not an easy score to come by in soccer, obviously. So it's just going to be really interesting to see where Real Madrid can recover from this and kind of move toward in the future. All right, guys, but don't go away. The Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. We'll be right back after this quick break.
If you're losing your hair or notice that it's getting thinner, listen closely. You can do something about it without messy lotions or drugs. Now you can get clinically proven hair growth results at home with the Hair Max Laser. Hair Max delivers nourishing laser light energy to stimulate hair growth right at the roots. It's FDA cleared, recommended by doctors, and best of all, it has an amazing 93% success rate in clinical studies in both men and women, so you can be sure it works. Use it just 3 times a week and experience new hair growth, increased density, and healthier, fuller, more attractive hair in just weeks with a 5-month money-back guarantee. Now, for a limited time, save 15% on your Hair Max order at hairmax.com. Type in code RADIO at checkout or call 1-800-9REGROW. That's hairmax.com, code RADIO, or 1-800-9REGROW. Experience real hair growth and save 15% with Hair Max.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. Got a really special guest for you this week. We're going to be talking to ASU men's tennis coach Matt Hill. The team is heading into conference play this weekend, taking on number 7 Stanford and California. Now, this in the past was done before ASU's slate against Texas A&M, and kind of the results before that match and leading into the rest of the matches before conference play started. So just wanted to play this clip for you guys of what head coach Matt Hill had to say just about the state of his team, and especially because the program is in its second year since being reinstated as a program at Arizona State. After athletic director Ray Anderson and his wife Buffy donated $1 million to reinstate the program. It hadn't been around for 10 years prior to that, so last season was its first season back at ASU, and then this year's their second year. So here's what head coach Matt Hill had to say a couple weeks ago.
So just first off, I mean, as you guys as a team, I mean, it's been an extended period of time now, I guess, kind of like a bye week since you guys have played. So how do you just approach keeping all your guys focused as you go on these kind of extended periods without any matches?
Yeah, I mean, look, the weather, I mean, it's a good thing we didn't have matches last weekend because the weather here has been not easy to get a lot of training in because of all the rain. So it's actually been really good period for our guys to really recover and get in the gym and get some really good work done in strength and conditioning. And then, yeah, obviously we do a lot of competing on our end internally within the group, so that keeps them sharp and ready to go.
Right, yeah, and then, I mean, your last matches, taking on number 2 Ohio State, obviously a perennial talent, and then Indiana as well, you split that trip. So what were your kind of just main takeaways from that weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Ohio State up close and personal. We knew they were good. They won the National Indoor Championships last weekend pretty convincingly. So yeah, we're really pleased with how the boys competed against Ohio State. And then yeah, Indiana is a very good, strong, deep team as well. So to beat them kind of at their place, in a pretty tough, highly competitive match was a really good test for our guys for sure.
Right, and Justin had a pretty good weekend himself, obviously being the number 12 singles player in the country. And then doubles again was pretty successful as well. I know you beat Indiana to Ohio State, but just what can you say about Justin's performance as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, Justin's playing really well. He's progressing. He's progressed really well this last month, which wasn't a surprise to us. Obviously, he works really hard day to day. He's a really focused kid. So yeah, we're obviously excited on where his game is going and the level he's currently competing at. So we don't expect anything less from him this weekend.
Right, and the rankings for the Oracle ITA just came out today. Justin was ranked in singles, and then you have 2 pairings in the doubles rankings as the most recent update today. So do you guys focus on those at all? Is that like a nice feeling going into the weekend, or do you guys just put those rankings aside?
Yeah, right now we kind of put those rankings aside and just kind of focus on what we need to do to get better and how we see ourselves progressing. Yeah, we don't put a lot of stock into that till probably end of March. Then the computer kind of starts to iron itself out, and you see a lot more. What's the word? I don't know. I don't know if credibility in the ranking is a good term, but there's just not a lot of data points right now to give a lot of accuracy to the rankings. So we don't put too much stock into it this early.
Gotcha. And then just in terms of looking ahead to this weekend, taking on Texas A&M on the road again, and then you're back in Tempe to face San Diego. Just for this upcoming weekend, what are you guys kind of stressing on and looking to improve upon in order to get some good results this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously excited. Get back out there and play 2 really strong teams. And we've been excited about how our doubles has been, and we're excited about how the different pieces of the puzzle and singles are progressing. So, I mean, for us right now, just getting out and getting back into competition after having an off week is an exciting thing for us just in general.
Right, and then Texas A&M, I mean, they're a familiar opponent for you. You played them last year. So just approaching that team this time around, what are you kind of looking at?
Say that last bit again, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Just having played Texas A&M last season, as you are looking to face them again this weekend, what do you just kind of, or how do you just kind of approach that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, they have a pretty new team, a lot of new guys in the lineup. So, but some kids that we know, kids that we were new during the recruiting process, and but yeah, they're very well coached. They have a lot of, even though they're a young group, they've got a lot of depth in the lineup. And so we expect it to be a really challenging match for our guys. And then same thing for San Diego.
Right.
They've got a young team as well that are really doing some good things and progressing quite well. And so yeah, it's just it'll be interesting to see how the guys continue to respond as we continue to put them in tougher and tougher situations.
Right, and then last thing for you, is it kind of nice to play 2 teams that you did play just a year ago? Is that familiarity something that you guys like? I mean, granted, I know that the lineups might have some slight changes, but is that something you guys like to do?
Yeah, we love that. I mean, we have film on them. We can really do our homework and review and be prepared as possible, so.
Right. All right, Coach. Well, that's all I have for you, so thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thanks, Mason.
All right, guys, but don't go away. The Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Hey, travel lovers, if you want to up your luggage game, check out EagleCreek.com, an innovative and durable line that's sustainably made with PVC-free materials. One stellar option is the Orf Trunk 36, a big bag crafted for big adventure. It's hard to find upright luggage that puts as much into durable and useful features as this one does. Built with all explorers in mind, the Orf Trunk 36 is lightweight, dependable, and efficient. With wet and dry compartments, multi-point handles, a cargo net for internal compression or outside gear attachment, puncture-resistant lockable zippers, central lock point security, oversized treaded wheels, padded laptop sleeves, and more, this luggage seemingly has it all. It even has a key fob quarter key bottle opener. Plus, there's free shipping on all orders and a no-matter-what lifetime warranty. Shop now at EagleCreek.com. That's EagleCreek.com.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
All right, guys, as always, at the end of the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. It's your favorite segment, or at least it's my favorite segment. It's Happenings on the Hardwood. And man, oh man, playoff pushes, who's doing well, who's not. Lots of info going down this week, especially through the association. And like I said, guys, I mean, this is playoff push time. After the All-Star break, there's only around 25 games left, so you think it's the midway point, but really not at all, because there's been 60 games already, or just thereabout. So how these teams respond after the break is really important to see, especially as they try and move up the rankings and the standings to get into the top 8 seeds to make their respective conference playoffs. But we'll start off with the Lakers. Now, this team been really frustrating, I feel like, all year, just because of the various different obstacles with the injury to LeBron, who was out 18 games, the most in his entire career. Lonzo Ball, who's been out with ankle issue and then a bone bruise in the latter half since the All-Star break. And, I mean, look, guys, he's a key component to this team, as much as you like him or hate him. Defensively, he's one of the best guards in the league to this point already, and he makes everyone around him better. So the tandem of him and LeBron together really spearhead this Lakers team to success. Now, one positive, at least, has been the play of Brandon Ingram since the All-Star break. I mean, at one point, he was averaging 28 points per game in like a 6-game span. Very consistent overall threat to shoot it, drive, pick and roll, pick and pop, alley-oop. I mean, everything he's been doing for this team since the All-Star break has been very effective. And Kyle Kuzma has been consistent. Josh Hart with the effort has been consistent. This is a team that has the pieces to make a playoff push. At this point, though, when you get losses against Memphis, Atlanta, the Suns, who beat them a couple weeks ago, and it was the worst team to beat a LeBron-led team in his entire career. Just the Suns, I mean, I think at that time had 13 wins. So you can't lose to teams like that if you want to make those types of playoff pushes. So I don't think it's going to happen this year. LeBron's now on a minutes restriction. The Lakers are going to limit his time on the court to preserve him a little bit. Who knows how long head coach Luke Walton's going to be around in terms of not getting fired and being replaced. I've heard Tyronn Lue could be a candidate for his replacement. Obviously, none confirmed reports. Just kind of what you see and hear on social media. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this team closes out. I think it's not going to be enough whatever they do to make the playoffs, especially just considering they haven't shown very many signs of success since the All-Star break. But some of the other teams that will be in the playoffs, you look at Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference, Toronto, Philadelphia, Boston. These are teams that are really upping the ante and the competitive spirit in the Eastern Conference, which many people would argue is the lower conference just in terms of talent pool. But, I mean, some of these teams can really compete and possibly challenge whoever comes out of the West, whether it be Golden State, Houston, who's been playing really well under James Harden as of late, And some of these other teams that I mean, Denver, you look at and you're like, wow, this team is really going to have a chance to compete against the likes of Golden State, who's a pretty clear favorite just with their roster composition. But, I mean, even Golden State has not played relative to probably their standard or what they would have wanted with the addition of DeMarcus Cousins. And I think that this year might be a year that a team like Denver or some sleepers like New Orleans even or some other teams can kind of jump the gun, steal a couple games, ruin momentum, and then maybe it leads to the Warriors getting bounced out before even making it to the championship this year. But whichever teams do make it out, I think it'll be a lot more competitive, and it won't be just a shoe-in Western Conference victory because, I mean, Milwaukee looks extremely strong with multiple All-Stars. Toronto now with Kawhi Leonard, I mean, kind of revitalized, and with no LeBron James in the East, it could be Toronto's year to finally escape the LeBron curse and kind of make something happen in the playoffs. Boston's gonna need to get it together because they started off the year really strong, but have been slumping as of late since the All-Star break. Just not really playing cohesive basketball. And then, I mean, just some of these teams can really do some damage. You look at Philadelphia with multiple All-Stars and players who can really make an impact, especially with the likes of Boban coming off the bench and some other pieces. I mean, that's a team that a lot of people feel really good about right now. So I think the Eastern Conference has really increased its talent pool, which I think is really beneficial for the league as a whole. Just because you want kind of more mainstream competition and it not be so easy to predict. You want parity, and you want a lot of these things to kind of work out. And especially with these teams that, I mean, the super team era that we're kind of in, stacking up on talent in the West, it's good to see some separation and sharing, I guess. I don't know if you'd call it sharing, but disbursement through the league in terms of just the talent that's being spread throughout. And the league is only getting better. I mean, the drafts are obviously producing more and more talent with less players retiring. I mean, obviously the likes of Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki kind of playing out their final dances, but I mean, the league is only getting better. The rookies are pretty astounding. You look at Luka Doncic, you look at Trae Young, and these guys are players that are impact players. I mean, they're making differences immediately to Dallas, to Atlanta, to Memphis with Jaren Jackson. These guys are really making a difference, and it's really being beneficial in terms of the league and how well it's progressing.
If you're tired of hair falling flat, check out the npbeautiful.com flat iron by celebrity hairstylist David Babai, known for Kate Hudson's beachy waves. This sleek modern iron is curved, allowing for endless styling options like waves, flips, curls, and ringlets. Innovative rose gold vibrating plates heat up to 400 degrees, shuffling the hair back and forth to minimize tugging, slipping, or pulling. And 10% of net proceeds support pediatric cancer and animal welfare causes. Find it at npbeautiful.com.
For singers looking for a fun, all-in-one wireless karaoke mic with a built-in mixer speaker and its own light show, Vocopro's PopUp Okey microphone is for you. It connects to a smartphone or tablet via Bluetooth and accesses YouTube and numerous karaoke apps for hours of entertainment. An onboard MP3 player allows singers to perform recorded MP3 tracks. Its multicolored LED light with on-off switch will automatically dance to the beat of the music, adding visual excitement to any karaoke session. Find it at Vocopro.com.
Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @SportsWatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog. The Sports Watchdog, Ace and Kern.